Yeah, let's do more business news. Now, Chief Executive Officer of the Telecoms Chamber, Ken Ashibe, has described the new payments and settlement laws which will compel telecom companies and banks operating mobile money services to have 30% local equity before obtaining license as welcoming. He says the new regulations will give customers an upper hand to hold service providers accountable. He's been speaking to Joy Business.
All mobile money operators now would have to now register, so they're going through the process of getting ourselves registered. The thing that for me all subscribers would have to is the fact that now there's a document. In the past it was policy, so now there's a regulation in place, there's a law in place, to the extent that if it's either the regulator, either the players don't do what they have to do, as a citizen you can go to court, and be able to get your rights upheld. And so for me it brings a lot of comfort, and it would deepen the trust that we can have in this system. It would also allow investors within the space a lot of certainty that once I put my money into this space, I know that there are laws, that boundaries that run it. And so because of that, you would find a lot more innovation, a lot more investment. And I think we need to concede that Ghana, there's been a lot of investment in this place, but it's even going to increase, and it's definitely the consumer who's going to benefit the more. You should bear in mind that one of our members, MTN, had complied with the local content one. You have to bear in mind the fact that if even you take Vodafone has Ghanaian ownership, and even if you take Airtel Tigo, based on the fact that in the past GMPC had shares in it, there's been some local ownership. So I'm not too sure as an industry we're versed with the issue of local ownership. The only interesting thing is, when you start talking percentages and all of that, how that plays within, the corporate finance world is something that really needs to be looked at. But I think generally, I'm not too sure it's a bad idea. You bear in mind that in Ghana, we've had situations where it was fuel stations that were being attacked. The thing that is happening is the fact that by virtue of the way we've been handling mobile money, where we're using it more for money transfer than for transaction basis, it leaves room for a lot of cash to be around, and then they tend to be vulnerable. So fortunately, once this bill comes and we move into the payment systems, and we're using mobile money for payment, so that the situation where a lot of cash will be left with the agents will be taken away. Definitely a lot more regulation will come in terms of how even the agents themselves set up, because by the regulation and the policies and all of that, in terms of the way they are structured, all of those things need to be taken into consideration.
Government has begun engagement to secure $230 million funding for the deployment of mini-grid renewable energy systems for some 55 highland communities across the country. This is part of measures by government to reach the universal access to electricity by 2020. Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, disclosed this at an ongoing mini-grid action learning summit in Accra.
As at the end of 2018, national electricity access reached 84.32%, with 93% in urban areas and 71% rural coverage. It is in view of this that the mini-grids and standalone renewable solutions have been developed to complement the national grid extension and intensification. Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, said Ghana is making strides to move from the 85% access to electricity to 100% through the use of renewable sources.
Constructed and operationalized 5 mini-grids, the Pedia Tokope mini-grid facility. And this is just about 80 kilometers east of Accra. But apart from that, we've also developed some microgrid systems, about 26 microgrid systems. And I was with the minister to commission some of these facilities in the northern region, the Damongo area, for example. Then from next year, we will also deploy some 55 new mini grids in many districts of our country, Sene East, Karachi East and West, Pru District, Nkwanta North and South, Gonja Central East and West, then Karachi and Chumuru districts of Ghana. And this is going to be funded through a $230 million facility.
Senior energy specialist at the World Bank, David Villar-Fringbach, noted that the World Bank has given government some technical support to develop its energy mix.
A project, GDAP, that with a budget of 275 million, that connected 350,000 households in Ghana to the grid, and also financed the 5 mini-grids, this pilot mini-grids. So this is something that has happened in the last 5-10 years, and the idea is to continue supporting the government on their quest to achieve universal access. One is through technical assistance. There is now a 20 million loan for technical assistance to support the studies and understanding the investment needs for achieving this last mile. And we are also looking at the potential new operation whenever the government has clearly decided on the strategy to reach this last mile, to provide financing and support towards this objective.
The summit is being co-hosted by Ghana and the World Bank. Eben Sabute's report for Joy Business.
The Ghana Interbank Payments and Settlement System says it will upgrade the electronic platform payments by July this year. The upgrade is critical to the movement of government's payment systems onto electronic platform. Chief Executive of CAPES, Achi Hesi, however, expressed optimism the upgrade will provide quality service between governments and stakeholders.
The next stage is for the various government bodies to work with GIPS, work with their bankers, and ensure that all the various necessary infrastructure, the training, all the various change initiatives that needs to be done is put in place. And that's where we are going to start focusing on. But in preparation for that, we at GIPS, we have come July, we are refreshing our systems. You know, we bought some IT systems somewhere around 2012 to put us in a good standing for all the various products that we have been turning out. It's roughly 2012 to now, it's sort of it's some time now. Now we have bought the Rolls Royce of all the systems because now we've learned, and we are about to migrate from the old to the new environment in July. Once we do that, we will have the capacity, the latitude, the memory, whatever the government throws at us. And we are very confident that we can now start ensuring that we have 99.9 availability when it comes to systems provisioning from our side.
What's your collaboration with these state agencies? Are you getting them connected to the bank and all that?
We do have a business development team that works with the banks. So they are the RMs or the relationship managers for the banks. The banks in turn have their customers are the government agencies. So after they have engaged with them and they have gone through their business processes, for example, what do they do, how their businesses are conducted, we will then look at their whole business flow and fashion out an appropriate system for both the government agencies as well as their customers. And that's what we are working on now.
Market now, where crude oil went for $65.21 a barrel after a 0.35 gains as of 5 p.m. today. Gold also sold at $1,430.59 same time. And the market update is next in Commodity News. It's a wrap on business tonight with me, Sandra Esinamafani. You can get more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business.